Okay, welcome back to part two of the video. We're going to start with race number 9, which is the 6 furlong turf sprint, the grade 2, and it is a purse of $2 million. So we start with number 1, implementation, and this one, Safi Joseph. There was another angle of horses shipping in from Gulfstream Park do not fare very well. So I don't know how much I'll count that against this one because I kind of liked it first off. Sometimes angles can pull you away from horses. Just because they came from a certain racetrack doesn't mean that they're going to be a flop. This horse has 2 wins and 2 tries at Kentucky Downs. So go ahead and stick that in your hat. But he didn't come from Gulfstream, actually. He came from Churchill Downs in Saratoga last year. So what do we know about that? So let's test this theory. We'll see how implementation does and maybe mark your calendar on that one. Outside shot to hit the board, I think. Good price. Here comes Howard Wallowitz looking for another big bang. He was a big bang last year as he finally came through because everybody loved this guy coming in. And then he didn't do so well in his maiden. He was just banged around really bad. And then Brittany Russell gave him up and D'Angelo got a hold of him and went right to the all weather. Nice move there to break the maiden, wins by 7, then goes to the turf. Didn't really do that well in the Mahoney, but then goes to Kentucky Downs and pops on the KD track, going 6.5 in the grade 1. Franklin Simpson runs a huge 104 number down the stretch, coming from off the pace, and was headstrong and game to get it done by a length. So then it goes, of course, the Breeders' Cup Turf Sprint. No chance there. Never was in it. Bad break, check turn, just in too deep. 17-1, obviously. Then tries to come back to the all weather, gets it done again in another stakes race. Now debuts at Dubai and runs like crap. I just don't know about that at all. But I love all these works. Nothing but bullets coming in. They are gearing him up. I think he's going to be just fine. I don't think there's any big deal on him. I think they were just going to maybe give him a shot in there, and then after he didn't run so well, they just didn't want to screw around with running him anymore. So they're going to train him hard up to this one. Irad aboard, nothing wrong with that. I think he can run him back this year with Irad aboard again. So let's get after it. Now, one timer is the 3 horse. Does look a little outclassed, but does have quite a bit of Kentucky Downs experiences. 4 starts with a win in 2 seconds, not too bad. I don't know that they were major league. I mean, they were just basically high dollar allowance races, but did win the previous down here and ran second. Missed the turf sprint 2 years ago as a 4-year-old, so that's pretty good. With E.T. Baird aboard, and now gets Jareth Loveberry coming off the all weather to the turf. I don't mind that too much. Ravelli, he's pretty good at doing that. Got some decent results coming in. Would be a good exotic to use. I think he's a bit over his skis though. Arzak's another one. Just one win in the last 2 years. I wouldn't be mad at you if you tried to use underneath at 15-1 price. Is 4th in prime power, but hasn't shown anything in 2025 at all. The Janus was a nice little second here to Coppola. But other than that, just tried too many upper level graded stakes, I guess, and still didn't get it done. So bad form coming in. No thanks. Bear River's another one. Does get out front, does have that first call ability out on the sprint. Won the Kentucky Downs preview at a juicy 17-1, but he was drummed in his only start at Kentucky Downs last year in the Simpson 6-length loss to Wallowitz and company. Wasn't really that close. No bid down the stretch. I don't know what to think about that. So basically, it looks like if he's up, or if she is up on the lead, she can hold on pretty good. But if she's behind early, she ain't coming back. So use at your own risk. Bear River, a good early horse. James Graham aboard, and then you have Kadeem, shipper overseas. Charlie Hills, dope trainer. Frankie Dettori. Hopefully, here's your stats though on the turf. There's the 155, 9%, 30 in the money. Negative ROI, 105. So he's a bit of an underlay when they play him. So 1 out of 5 on turf starts for Hills this year. 1 out of 5 was graded stakes. This one's kind of hit and miss. Does have a few good outings. Had a good one. Well, I mean, there's Kentucky Downs. Obviously, ran second right here and got beat by Cogburn. So that's enough. 4-1 morning line odds. Maybe to chip in and do well. I like the not last race in North America angle. Pretty good too. Seems like a real well bred horse. Decent long shot play. but I guess I should call value play 4-1. Did have a good run at Ascot, going 6 right here in the Queen Elizabeth. So does have some back class as well. Arrest Me Red 5-1. Pretty good, solid journeyman type turfer. Good finishes in 2025. Really good lower level stakes runner. But when moving up to graded, he hasn't been as competitive. Now, way back in 2021, 2022, had a couple of graded wins, but now he's 7 years old. I think he's lost a little bit of a step. I think it affects sprinters more than anything else. If you don't have that top end speed as you get older, you can suffer for it. Then you have Air Force Red, 8-1 Jose with Leonard Powell. Leonard Powell lures Jose aboard this 7-year-old. One win in 24, one win in 25. So not a lot to talk about the last couple of years. A few third place finishes this year that were okay. The Daytona, and then tried to stretch out to a mile in the last two. Didn't fare so well. So maybe cutting back might do it, but I'm not. I'll just have to pay to see it. Durante had the big win in the Aristides, but other than that, he's going from dirt to turf. I'm not really sure why they're doing that. Single turf win in 10 starts. Poor dirt to turf record is more than enough to axe this one off. So I'd rather see him back on dirt, be honest with you. Not a big fan of Torres, the jockey, or Jacobson, the trainer. Pipsy, female filly, 4-year-old filly, had a bad caress. Clipped right there, quarter pole, weakened down the stretch. Future Is Now. That was a really strong turf race, in my opinion. Won a grade 2 prior to that at Saratoga, going 5.5. Beat Future Is Now, and then beat previous to that layoff was a nice 5.5 win at Keeneland. I think this horse is more than capable. Ran second in the Music City last year against the girls. Lost to Simply in Front. I think she's more than capable of rolling at 12-1 here. So she's definitely in play for me. Past success overseas, always a plus in my book for these types of races. Got a couple of wins, go in the sprint and all weather track distance here, a second place here in claiming ranks. So Pipsy's in there. And then you have Nobles or No Balls, if you like that term for the horse, because sometimes he runs like he's got no balls. But most of the time he's been showing up in 2025. Did not get off to a good start here at Gulfstream, but then goes to the all-weather at Turfway and runs a solid second to Arrest Me Red. Then wins on the Churchill Downs turf May 24th. Then a good second in the all-weather at I forgot what that was, PID up in Pennsylvania somewhere, I think. Then Ellis Park. It was a pretty good. Should have had a better run. Didn't really get there. Needed more. So maybe maybe he wasn't fully cranked. That's what I'm going to say. He wasn't fully cranked because he's better than these horses. So I'm going to give him a really good chance to win this race. But I'm not so much to Charcoal, 30-1. And there are going to be some AEs that I might mention along the way, but I don't think any of them here. Actually, LM, not really for me. Amon, one I might consider if it draws in, because I do think there's some back class to be had there, but not really good form lately. Things of that nature, high front. But anyway, this one, I did put number 2 Howard Wallowitz as a key box horse. I don't know what the odds are going to be, but I did have a whole bunch underneath that I will narrow down. So we're just going to go over them real quick before we move on. Implementation I did consider, but didn't make it. I do like the number 3 One Timer a bit. I like the kind of the all weather, then the turf, then the all weather, back to turf, kind of bing bang boom type of operation for Ravelli. So I think I might use the 3. I might use the 5 Bear River with that front running style as well. So 3, 5, and then 7 is Arrest Me Red. I don't know. I left the 6 off. So we'll have to see about that. Check back Saturday morning for any adjustments. And Air Force Red I didn't use, but the 10 and 11 I did. 10 definitely, 11 Nobles. So really the 2, 10, and 11 are my top 3 choices. And then there'll be some other ones I want to look for value and pricing. Let's get on to race number 11. That's going to be the last one we cover. I'm not covering 12 on this particular video, but I might do it toward the end because I think it lands on a pick 5 for later in the week, but we'll see. So we're going a mile on the turf. This is the ladies' turf. Fillies and mares, 3-year-old and upward. And this is going to be a fun race. This might be one of my favorites. Number 1 in our time, 12-1, a 4-year-old, improving on the turf. Once Saffie Joseph got a hold way down here from Jack Sisterson, you can see came right out and won. But, just one clunker, really. The 8 just maybe moved up in class too soon. Maybe came back too fast. I'm not really sure. But anyway, layoff wins neck third, second, and then a disappointing sixth, fading. That's going distance, mile and a 16th. We're cutting back to a mile, so I think that's significant. Second by a neck. I think all those lead me to believe this horse is going to be competitive. The near miss in the Della Rose Stakes was pretty good. Second in the Honey Fox, quality third place in the Pegasus World Cup Filly Mare Turf. So definitely exotics, maybe not the win. Special Juan, or maybe special win. 7-2 morning line. Brendan Walsh, Joel rides. Got the win last year at Kentucky Downs going a mile, but that was for just kind of like an allowance race for a lot of money, which is pretty nice. But Gina Romantica, Chili Flag, Fluffy Socks was a really tough group to go against in the First Lady, then drops down and more like the horses she'll face here, like In Our Time, and Poolside with Slim is not in this race, but really hammered it home, got it done. Then to try to step back up to the Just a Game, dynamic pricing, excellent truth, pretty tough company there. So runs third to them. Special one is definitely just that, a special one. Uh, Now Cheshire Dancer, 6-1, shipping in from Great Britain, and Frankie Dettori up won four straight strong races overseas. But a lot of these races, especially Ascot, all of them were straight miles. Those straightaway mile races, and so doing good in those and doing good at a track like this is two different things in my opinion. So I don't know how she's going to handle the unique setup with the turns and whatnot. I feel like one of these down here, I think the Chester one might have been some turns involved in that and didn't run well at all. So I'm going to toss this one at 6-1. Neom Beach. Almost tossed it when I saw Eric Asmussen was the jockey. Then I was like, well, he won 3 straight races aboard him, or aboard her. So what's the deal? Well, pretty weak. Lone Star, won by a neck, going a mile and 16th, won by a half. I think maybe won in spite of the jockey. Weak surface at Lone Star, nothing like this one. Out, pass. And now Sagesta, Chad Brown, Irad Ortiz, Chad Brown, not the stellarist, or not the stellarist, I don't even know if that's a word, but not quite the stellar record you would think he'd have here. Although elite in New York and more and on the more conventional ovals, Kentucky Downs he has underperformed. His jockey has not. Irad had 9 races in 33 mounts last year, 9 wins. Grade 3 matchmaker win at Monmouth. Was a soft pace. She sat the perfect trip. I don't think she gets that again. But I do like the first call going this distance as well. A mile is just a little bit further. I guess if you want to call it a route, you can. On this track, they all make that one big broad sweeping turn. But when you go a mile, you start at the bottom and it's a big long straightaway. And then it's kind of like that. Then you start that big loop around that big bubble. And then you hit the stretch and then you have another slight kind of turn coming down the stretch. So different kind of angle than this one's raced at, but I like the consistency across the board. So it could be a good underneath use. I might just ride it. I might just be all over some Irad all day long here. Now, the next one is Lady Il Sue, and 9-2, just a 3-year-old, but has some really good results. Didn't do so well here going a mile, but that was a grade one Cinderella's Dream. That was a really tough race. The Dusseldorf race, where she won the grade 2, the Guineas, that one was on a very similar configuration, Dusseldorf's track, to Kentucky Downs, and I find that appealing. 9-2 seems a bit of an underlay, but I think it's going to be ticking up. I don't think anybody's going to recognize Audrey de Vries or Andres Wohler. Either one of those. I mean, she kicked ass in Poland. I was going to make a World War II joke, but that would be rude. So I like this one as an underneath use. Sacred Wish is going to be 8-1. I don't know why I always thought she felt overrated to me. I guess maybe some of the races I saw, she didn't perform as well. Like she went very low odds in this one and finished 7th at Churchill Downs. But she and maybe she's always bet down. Maybe that's my problem. Got bet down to favorite and missed by a neck. So failed favorites. Not many wins to speak of. Did get this matriarch down here, but one win since June of last year, or May of last year, I should say. So maybe that's where I'm getting the because people think she's better than she really is, but she's really consistent as far as hitting the board. So you gotta figure lots of in the money finishes. She ran second in the ladies turf last year behind Walkathon. Walkathon went wire to wire in this race. So that's something else you might want to keep in mind is it's not always those coming off the pace horses here. If there's a reasonable enough pace to be set, you can go all the way in these races. Uh, I think she'll be competitive as a nice price though, so she's worth a use. Landed is an early speed horse that could be maybe a bit of a sleeper for Wesley Ward. Now, the only problem is she hasn't run on grass, so I don't like that. But I do like Wesley Ward. Dam has produced 2 turf winners, shorter distance, breeding suggests grass. So if Wesley thinks that she's going to do all right on the turf, I'd give her a shot to do so. But I just don't know about the competition she's faced coming in. Junior aboard doesn't really give me great confidence, but just because he's just a little bit weaker on the turf than he is overall. So I'll probably pass on Landed. But here's the one. If you're looking at first call horses, it's Charlene's Dream. I mean, it's just first all the way. Now did falter in the Oaks, but that's going a mile and 5/16. So significantly shorter race. I think this is the perfect distance to set up for her to try to wire them with Castellano aboard. So I look at that one, but I got my girl here coming up. It's Pinup Betty time. And Pinup Betty, just love the girl. 8-1, coming in on the back-to-back wins. Betty's going to be ready. Louis Saez up again. Just got it done in that mint julep. Beat a couple of rivals in this race, moving on up. And Charlene's Dream, which is an important victory in my opinion, ran down Charlene's Dream in the mint julep. As you can see, she was on the lead all the way and then got run down by Pinup Betty. So that's where I feel like that's going to happen here. I feel like Charlene's Dream could get run down by Pinup Betty again. Moving on up's one I definitely will consider. First in prime power, but lost to Betty twice. Beaten by Weaker as the favorite in Saratoga. She's got ability, looks good in exotics, but not exactly my win pick. So that's where we're going to end our videos. And so I like number 10. Pinup Betty is going to be my pick to win. Just a little bit more of a gut heart play too, but more than qualified to win this race. She's still improving. Just her 4th start in 2025. All her starts have looked good. Connections were pointing to this one, I think, for a while now. They kind of passed on a few different prep races to have her in this situation. And so they gave her a layoff, decided the Anchorage, they saw what they needed to see in the Anchorage. I think that's enough for me. Then you got number 9, Charlene's Dream. I like the 9-10 exacta box, legit. So I might just be putting down a nice maybe $5 exacta box, something of that nature. Charlene's Dream can do what Walkathon did last year and set fast. She's able to set fast fractions on a firm turf and still go wire to wire. So number 10, Pinup Betty for the win. Maybe a key horse box with the 2, 5, 6, and 9. So these are early days. Lots of studying to do with this track. I'm still waiting on the Delmar past performances and entries, but I will have the that preview video for the Pacific Classic coming out. So check that one out. We'll be back with your split the pot draw tomorrow, Thursday. Make sure you're checking back Saturday morning for the pinned comments. Saturday, make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you're smashing that like button. Make sure you're leaving that comment. Hashtag BHS always helps promote the channel. And like I said, Delmar content incoming. See you soon.